It's Friday, the 7th of February 2025. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories, 5 minutes, let's go. Story number 1, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has basically said Australians need to take a chill pill when it comes to Donald Trump and not react to every statement he makes.
Maybe Mr. Albanese, but he is the President of the United States. We should keep that in mind. The Prime Minister said we need to sit back and not react to everything Donald Trump says. The PM and government ministers have been dodging questions non-stop over the past few days on Trump's changing policy decisions. On ABC News Breakfast yesterday, Anthony Albanese said, and I quote, "There's been 2 different positions in the last week on Canada and on tariffs, and that points towards the need to sit back, not comment on every statement that is made every day." He stood firm on Australia's long-running position for a bipartisan 2-state solution in the Middle East. Now, earlier in the week, Donald Trump suggested the US take over Gaza, shift Palestinians to other countries. Anthony Albanese has been asked about this a few times, but he's very much avoiding that one.
And Sean, Peter Dutton has a different response to the Gaza proposal.
Yeah, he sure does. He said, and I quote, "Donald Trump has a very different approach than his predecessors. He has a business approach. If we can see a plan which has peace and stability restored to the region, then would I support that?" And question mark after that. I think he might support that. All in all, question time yesterday. Opposition is still focusing on anti-Semitism and Anthony Albanese's response to what's going on, particularly in Sydney at the moment. Although the opposition did push a little bit more into the cost of living crisis. Just very quickly on that anti-Semitism issue, New South Wales has expanded its anti-vilification and intimidation laws on the back of those crimes. There's also legislation going through the federal parliament that has caused the federal Labor to include mandatory minimum sentences for hate speech as part of that legislation.
Okay, moving on to story number 2 now, Sean. Business confidence is up a bit and business conditions remain stable, though corporates are more upbeat about the next 12 months compared to the last 12 months.
That's the findings from the quarterly National Australia Bank Business Confidence and Conditions Survey. Conditions were steady last quarter, but thankfully, businesses expect better times in 2025. They expect to make bigger investments. That reflects hopes of lower interest rates, recovering consumer demand, and easing cost growth. Also, business expects an improvement in the medium-term inflation outlook, though they are still worried about wage costs. In fact, wages remain the main issue hurting consumer confidence, even though it is up just a little bit. This is all good news. We need business to be confident. We want them to invest. The outlook for the next 12 months is better than 2024. We're seeing that in the share market already, and now this suggests we're seeing it amongst more businesses as well.
Yeah, that's a bit of good news. Now, story number 3, the Toyota RAV4 has knocked off the tradies' friends, the Ford Ranger Ute and Toyota Hilux, to be the highest selling car in the country.
And the other part of this story, electric vehicle sales were at their lowest level as a proportion of new cars purchased in more than 2 years. The data shows that hybrids are now the environmentally aware car of choice. In fact, last month, hybrids accounted for 17% of car sales. EVs, just 4.4%. That's according to the Federal Chamber of Automotive Industries. Total new vehicle sales last month were 87,000. That's down from a year ago. A bit of a disappointing month, really. For January, the biggest manufacturers in order: Toyota, Mazda, Ford, Kia, and Mitsubishi.
Story number 4, Tasmania, Sean, has emerged as the healthiest place to live in the country, with lower environmental risks and better climate conditions, resulting in a lower mortality rate compared to other cities and places around the country.
A study by public health researchers at Monash University, reported in the Fin Review, looked at 2,000 cities, towns and suburbs across the nation. They combined data on a dozen factors contributing to health, such as air quality, access to green spaces, temperature, socioeconomic factors, even things like rates of cardiovascular disease and other indicators. Hobart at the top, Darwin at the bottom of the Environmental Quality Health Index. Now, the issue with Darwin is extreme heat and low incomes. After Hobart, we had, in order, Melbourne, Adelaide, Sydney, Brisbane, Perth, Canberra. Rural areas generally fared worse than urban areas. It's the second time this study's been done. The good news for Darwin is that it's actually improving. The reading for Darwin is improving, as it is with Perth, though the other capital cities are going the wrong way.
Last one, Sean. Story number 5. Victorian Premier Jacinta Allen has confirmed the state will host NFL games, American football, with the first game held next year, of course, at the MCG.
Of course it's at the MCG. An average of 20 million Americans tuned into each NFL game last year, in addition to millions of international viewers. It's big time. The Los Angeles Rams will be the MCG's host team, and the games will be part of the American football regular season. The contract is for 2 games with an option for a third. Jacinta Allen said the multi-year deal was another touchdown for the sporting capital of Australia. There you go. She wouldn't comment on the price of the deal, though. Said it was commercial in confidence.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It is Friday, the 7th of February, 2025. Remember to hit follow on the podcast, and if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.